Hi there, I just want to talk today in your ninja art tip for the day about drawing, and when you first start out drawing, how important it is to just start with things that are simple. So the first thing that you should have a go at is still life, because still life is really good. It just sits there and it it doesn't misbehave, it doesn't move, the light doesn't change. You can set it up indoors any way you want it. Still life means fruit or vases. You can just paint a little or draw a little capsicum. That one's in charcoal. So still life is great because it's simple shapes. As you get a bit bolder, you can do things with reflections, but you get enough time to play around with the things and arrange them the way you want to before you get going with them. The next subject that you could tackle after that, if you're a complete beginner, is to tackle flowers. So flowers are good as well because they don't run away on you, and you can set them up in the light, and so long as you don't take days and days to paint them, you can usually paint them before they wilt. That's a bit more of a complicated shape, but you can get a beautiful drawing out of it. Of course, that one's in colour because it's in pastel. The next subject that you could tackle as a beginner could be landscapes. So there's a simple landscape that's a great fun one that we do in the Learn to Draw class. We've actually got that as a tutorial on the Zen and the Art of Art website dojo as well. After you've done simple landscapes with trees and fields and things like that, maybe you want to have an attempt at doing buildings. So buildings are an extra level of difficulty. So we going from grasshopper level down up to all the different colours of belts, and then this is not quite up to black belt, but it's getting there. This particular one's also got figures in it. As soon as you start drawing figures, that's another challenge as well. But buildings, even if you didn't put any figures in there, buildings are challenging because you've got to get the perspective right. So the proportions and the perspective. I'll be teaching all about perspective in the second Zen and the Art of Art book that's coming out this year. So buildings are the next one. So if you're starting to get really confident, then maybe you want to start painting animals or birds. So what you don't want to do is to start drawing when you're drawing journey. You don't immediately say the first thing I'm going to draw is your family pet, because you've really got to get the likeness, you've got to get the symmetry of the face, you've got to get the shapes all correct, or it just won't look like that animal. So this is kind of up the scale. Like if you start out at a still life is here, and then landscapes, buildings, then you might you've already done flowers, and then you might tackle the animals up here. But right at the very top of the scale, where you really need to know what you're doing and have lots of practice under your belt, is to do faces and portraiture. So not sure if you can recognize who that is. This is a charcoal drawing that I did. Once you start doing faces and you're trying to get the likeness of the person, it gets down to millimeter accuracy. You have to get all the shapes absolutely correct, or it just won't look like that person. So leave portraiture until you've had plenty of practice, or you might be disappointed. So just be very careful that you take a stage by stage kind of journey, so that you don't bite off too much more than you can chew right at the very beginning, because you don't want to disappoint yourself and feel frustrated and give up early. So start with simple shapes first and work your way up the scale. So eventually you might get to a point where you can start doing painting and doing portraiture in colour. So here's one that I did in one of our masterclass courses that we have. It's a portrait in oil of Susan Carland, depicted as the girl with the pearl earring. So that's my tip for today, is to think about the scale of difficulty, levels of difficulty. Right at the top is portraiture, to get the likeness of the human face, to get all the measurements of the eyes, the ears, even the earlobes, little things about faces that we recognise that make that person recognisable. You've got to get every single little thing right. So leave that until you've had a bit of practice. Start off with still life and simple shapes, work your way up through the subjects until you build up the confidence to ninja level. So that's the tip of the day. And don't forget, we've got the Zen and the Art of Art book is available on the website, zenartart.com. And don't forget to like, share, comment, anything you can to share this video with other people on Facebook. Thanks for watching.